Hello, welcome to TFL Design. My name is Phoenix and I am on vacation right now. Hello, welcome to TFL Design. My name is Phoenix and this is part 3 of my 2023 Asia trip. Last time I left off, I traveled from Hakodate and arrived at Ginzan Onsen, an entire town of beautiful hot springs and gorgeous views of trees and waterfalls. The onsen hotel I stayed at looked very traditional and felt absolutely serene and comfy. In this onsen hotel, we did not have an in-room private onsen like the last one. There was a public one shared by the rest of the hotel's guests within the hotel itself. Although it was fully booked, the hotel only has a few dozen guests at a time. You might have noticed there's no bathtub or shower in our suite because once again, the onsens were separated from the suites. Therefore, they expected you to take a shower and take a bath outside your own room. This was another place we'd only be staying for one night, but since we'd arrived earlier in the day, we had time and were encouraged by the staff to visit the town just below us. Along the way, you can see the roads were kept ice-free by pumping the hot spring water straight out of the ground and onto the streets. As you can see by the steam rising everywhere, there are many onsen hotels in this area at the center of the town. I'd imagine the sound of tourists and people walking by makes their outdoor onsen less serene. I would think their view would be limited as well, since they wouldn't be able to face the streets, nor would they have the view of the trees and mountains. It was then I realized how glad I was that our onsen hotel was a 10-minute walk away from the town center, above all the noise and foot traffic. Our outdoor onsen in our hotel had a good view of nature, and there were no humans in sight, other than the people you shared the baths with. In my case, I was basically alone with one other person, and the two of us would be occupying different onsens at the same time. After the onsen, we had our dinner, another kaiseki of course. This meal was especially delicious and the wagyu beef was amazing. After dinner, we went back to the town center to see the view at night. It was snowing lightly by then, adding to the serene atmosphere and made for a spectacular picture. The lights against the night sky and snow really looked amazing. They had a shuttle bus for us to ferry us up and down this hill if we didn't want to walk it. The next morning, we had our multi-course breakfast to start the day and took a bus from the onsen to a train station. Along the way, we watched 60 men do the job of one snowplow operator in record time. We rode the high-speed train from Ginzan Onsen to our next destination, Tokyo. We slowly watched the weather turn from 3 feet of snow to clear blue skies and 0 snow on the ground. It was crazy how much distance we were covering and how drastic the weather was changing. Let's just say I no longer needed a scarf beyond this point in my trip. The first thing we did in Tokyo was go to one of my favorite ramen places on Ramen Street within the station. I go to this every time I'm in Tokyo. I should mention that in order to walk around hands-free and without our carry-on size luggage, we utilize these public lockers that you can fit full-size suitcases into. You'd pay with either coins or card passes you'd use at trains and bus stations. I will be explaining what we did with our actual luggage in a later video. It involved shipping it from city to city, hotel to hotel. After eating, we went out to do a bit of shopping, or at least I went out to do a bit of shopping, mostly window shopping, but I did purchase an Issey Miyake bag at this point, which you can watch the full unboxing video to in my other video. It was also within Tokyo and this part of my trip that after multiple cities and multiple Ferragamo stores, a sales associate finally said that they had the bag, but I'd have to wait 2 days for it to be released and picked up. Luckily, I was still going to be here for another 3 days, and so watch my Ferragamo bag unboxing video to hear that full story. After that bit of shopping, we went to check out our Airbnb, and it was huge. It had a piano we were not allowed to play, as well as shelves of Dan Brown books. I wasn't sure if the owner was a fan or if it was just their go-to decoration choice. One of my friends that came along the trip had never seen the toilets open up on their own and speak before, so they were thoroughly entertained by our classical music playing toilet.
Hello, Mr. Toilet. Do you want me to make a deposit? And this will sing too if you sit on it.
After we dropped off our stuff, we went out in search of food and found a small eats place that served alcohol and amazing food. Nothing was in English, of course, so we depended on the Google Translate app to read the menu and speak with the staff. They were very kind and we had a lot of food that totally wasn't cheap, but it was worth it. It was a fun night. Most of the shopping was definitely done in Tokyo, as most of the other places we visited were for sightseeing purposes. I also did try to do a little thrifting while in Tokyo. I visited some of the famous spots. If you're unaware, there are a lot of fakes and replicas out there of brand name bags. And Japan is one of those places where I feel I trust their authentication and I trust the people that sell to sell only the best of things and to be open and honest about all the defects of anything secondhand or vintage. Plus, it's a lot cheaper there because there's no need for shipping fees versus buying it online. But I didn't really find anything and ended up going back to luxury stores to look for bags. During this trip, I definitely did pick up some nerd merchandise. I'll probably do it in a separate video. And I don't know if I'll do an unboxing, but definitely show some of the stuff that I bought. Maybe not only in the form of an Instagram post, but as a video as well. That night we went to a 3-star restaurant that was in a very quiet and secluded area. This was a restaurant that specialized in fugu, pufferfish. Our meal would present fugu in different ways of eating it. And my overall consensus to fugu is not worth it. It has like no taste, and the texture of it is like a chewier fish, almost like jellyfish, but less crunch. I'm told people eat it to feel a buzz and all. My friends at dinner were drinking alcohol, so they already were feeling a buzz from it and therefore felt nothing extra from the fish. Meanwhile, my husband and I did not drink alcohol that dinner, and so we felt the effects, and it would be the same effects that you'd have if you were drinking, a warm feeling with a bit of a buzz. Therefore, I say, just drink alcohol if you want that feel. No need to spend over $300 on a tasteless fish, in my opinion.
Scramble. The running. And it's clear.
The next day, we walked around the city and took a look at all the nerd stuff that we liked, including anime and Marvel statues. We even took a look at the arcades and crane game areas that were strangely emptier than usual. And this trip this time, we didn't actually do any of the crane machines and stuff like that, only because the last time we were here, we had spent hundreds on there. I figured these places were emptier because during the pandemic, things might have slowed down and a lesser amount of tourists abroad also took a toll. Japan had just recently opened up for tourism after all. I will say I'm surprised the effort Japan took to take out the habit and smell of cigarettes from public places. Last time I was here 5 years ago, the smell of smoke used to fill every single indoor area. It seems you can't smoke anywhere but designated areas nowadays. After another day of roaming around the city and looking at sites and buildings, at more statues and stores and model kit havens, we went to see one of the coolest nerd things of all, Gundam. We'd bought tickets not only to see the RX-78 on the ground floor, but to actually go up the elevators and see it up close and personal. It was like an hour of shuffling around on each of the 2 to 3 decks to see the Gundam light show performance super close. So close that you could read the text written on it. Obviously, the best view of the whole performance was on the ground, and I'd taken the entire 10-minute video of that, of course. I won't be showing it to you all, but basically it had spoilers for the movies.
이게 있네. 나라스 힘든다고 그냥 나라스네. 일본만 있대로 그래.
It's moving.
ミッションコントロールからガンダム聞こえますか。こちらガンダム、よく聞こえている。自動姿勢制御装置を起動させてください。了解。自動姿勢制御
But we weren't done with just one Gundam. We had to see the second Gundam parked in front of the mall. And to see the last light show of the night while the mall was closing. It didn't move like the other one did, but boy was it pretty. I have to note that this Gundam is in a totally different city from the first one, and we had to take a train to go see it. We were really dedicated that night to really see all the Gundams before we leave Tokyo. It's totally worth it though, because we never know when these will be taken down or replaced, and they'll never put them up again. I don't know why they keep spending the money to build such wonders and then take them down. The next day before leaving Tokyo, we went to try a 1 Michelin star ramen place. We knew it was popular, but didn't realize we'd end up waiting 2 hours in a chilly line for a place that didn't even seat more than 8 people. I will tell you though, that the food is worth it. Gosh, the ramen was amazing. I cannot stress how much the wait felt like nothing once we were eating. It was that good. Well, I had no idea this video was going to be this long and only covering 2 locations. I have to talk about my next location in the next video. You can probably guess where I went based on this video right here. Let's just say this is the view I woke up to, and it's an amazing stay. If you want to stick around to see that, be sure to subscribe and follow. Leave a comment below on what you think of my trip so far. Bye-bye.